Yo, I may cuss, but I don't curse. Let's get that situated first. Leos, back with another reading for y'all, for us. Cross watchers, eavesdropper included. You know you want to hang out, you want to know what's going on with Leo. Everybody got Leo in their natal chart anyway, right? So, 3 card draw ain't gonna hold you too long. Yeah, yo, it's crazy work. But listen, I got the Wheel of Fortune out here, the 4 cups, followed by the 9 of cups in reverse. And trust me, I did not bamboozle you. These are the cards that are supposed to be out here. Now, usually it's cliche for people to say, don't let your emotions supersede your intelligence. But this is that reading. Do not let your emotions supersede your intelligence. Because right now, first of all, what all of you Leos and people watching for Leo energy in your chart, what all you need to do right now or immediately after this reading is to acknowledge all of the things in your life that you have right now that you would consider to be luck. Like, oh man, I got lucky with that. I got lucky with that. A deal. You found money on the floor. I mean, every little thing that you can possibly muster, that you can think of, it be like, you know what, that is something that's lucky. Like, how else did that happen for me? How else did that work for me? And show gratitude for that. And also step into the belief that it's for you. It's a karmic reward of why you're lucky to that extent. All right, this is something that you've done before, maybe even in a past life, that is being rewarded to you and granted to you right now. So my point here is, do not guilt trip over being lucky, over feeling lucky. Do not guilt trip over that shit. Do not guilt trip that you've been spending time alone or apart from some type of sentiment. So, things that people usually, if you missed Thanksgiving, I need to give an example. If you missed Thanksgiving this past Thanksgiving, right, which is usually a family ordeal, right? It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. Pause, but don't. Because, look, you know something that others don't. All right? Especially when it comes to family and friends that have a connection, a deep bond, that have shared memories together and stuff like that. You know something that they don't, and it's something that's more aligned with your path and what you need to do for yourself. See, I get the feeling that I'm speaking for some people that have always valued what family looked like for other people, but when it came to them, not the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? And it was nice to see and even low-key yearn for, but reality is that's not how it transpires for you. Now, I'm not saying that all cards are off the table for you building any type of family that is foundational or has any type of merit or has some type of solid intention. But what I can say is, if you reflect on the past and history and dwell on what your family dynamic wasn't, and even more if you compare it in contrast to what other people that you grew up with family dynamic is and was, then you're going to run the risk of ruining everything that you got going on emotionally, because your optimism is going to drop. That upbeat attitude that you normally would have is going to be diminished by reflecting on those negative things, those negative thoughts. So this is all emotion. This is what I'm saying. Look, let me break it down for you symbolically, because in this Wheel of Fortune card, you got all 4 elements in the middle of the Ouroboros. Now, what that's telling me is that you're destined to be, but if you want to cut parts out of yourself in order to be, or put more emphasis. I can't say put more emphasis, right? Because a lot of us, we could look at our natal charts and we could see the different percentage levels of the elements in our chart, which would say, we by default, we have an emphasis somewhere in our chart when it comes to elements. But if you just put emphasis on emotions alone, because I see 4 cups out here followed by the 9 of cups in reverse, both water cards in this particular reading, then you're putting your fire out. You're dousing your fire with that water. You know what I'm saying? You're not being grounded in the earth that's beneath you with the earth element. And you're not thinking logically, which is the air element, because emotions are superseding the intelligence. The air energy is the intellect. So why cut off these other parts of yourself just to satisfy some type of memory or some type of yearning that you have not achieved, that you have not observed for yourself, that you have not obtained for yourself? Because you're destined to be who you are, what you are. You're not destined to be what other people are or what other people have. You're not destined. That's not your destiny. Everybody's got their calling, but that's just not yours, you know? And the quicker that you come to that realization and realize that the memories are the memories for a reason, and even more for that purpose, for you to self-identify and say, you know what? Yeah, that was the structuring, and that was even the teachings that were passed down to us, you know, about family or whatever the case may be. Or about the way that you're supposed to do things in life in general. This doesn't even have to relate directly to family. But in this reading, I feel like if it's not direct relatives, then it's a community or lifestyle that you're emotionally still attached to, or even trauma. Let me not say trauma, but that you're bonded to by way of emotion and memories, sentiment. But what you'll be doing is, see, what I'm seeing also is that y'all are doing this out of boredom. Y'all are doing that out of boredom. So what you should be doing in other words is putting more emphasis on those other elements in your life. Get grounded back into not daydreaming so much and start using your hands. Put your hands on tangible things. Start making things. Start building things that surround you. You know, get some raw materials and concentrate your efforts into that. Play music while you're doing it, because the music will take you somewhere else too. It won't have you in your head thinking of thoughts that are emotional. Sure, music does draw up emotions, right? However, depending on the lyrics and the instruments that are used, it could take you somewhere else and take you away from those negative thoughts. Because let's be real, when you compare and contrast, thief of joy, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. When you compare and contrast your life situation or your family dynamic or even your career dynamic to others, you're just stealing from the happiness that you had. I said in the beginning to check everything that you're lucky to have. You are lucky in those areas in life for a reason. You got your own lot in life. You got your own destiny, your own karma. You don't know what those other people have to go through or what type of karmic debts that they have to pay because of the lifestyle that they have obtained. You don't know what they had to do to hold that family together and are still doing to hold that family together. You don't know if they committed crimes, atrocities, violations against people. You don't know what kind of karma they got coming for them or what kind of luck they got coming for them. You get what I'm saying? And it will behoove you to not even try to investigate it. Just keeping it a bean unless a little birdie flies on your shoulder and tells you, because sometimes that happens. With that being said, these cards are red bars. I'm nice. We know that already.